It's Tuesday, it is!
How's it going, everyone? It's the
Okay, you
Mimi
ready?
and Weezy show. And
Órale.
today we're gonna talk about a crazy vato, eh?
Today, we're gonna cover one of our childhood artists that we used to listen to. No one other than SPM, aka South Park Mexican, bro.
For the people that don't know, dude, because you say that you listen to SPM, they give you the funniest looks. Like, what'd you say to me?
Yeah,
They're
well,
like
if I
DEA,
say like,
FBI, CIA. No, just kidding.
well, if you ask like, SPM, everyone goes, who? Who? And I'm like, okay, you obviously didn't grow up where we did, but you guys will know some songs, like Wiggy 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 Wiggy. That's my fave. That was one of my first
Or
ones
that,
that
or
my
that
cousin
famous
showed.
one was it? I wanna grow up and be an astronaut. I'm on the Mexican radio.
Yeah,
That
that's
one,
the best one. It's called
dude.
Mexican Radio,
I
isn't
swear,
it?
dude. If you didn't, yeah, literally, if you didn't hear that song growing up, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I feel like I have that song engraved in my head so hard, and then when I started hearing the TikToks, it's like memories started coming back. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding.
That's what it feels like, dude.
I
Every
kept on
time I
getting
listen.
B. It's like I kept on getting B in the memories, dude. Like No, I'm just
What's
kidding.
hold up on the double, these boys want trouble. If you guys don't know that, they call me Flintstone and my home is burning rubble.
And then there's that other one, the I see gangsters everywhere.
Oh, what about I Must Be High? Is that the one? No, that's not that one that you're talking about. You know what I'm talking about?
I
I'm
don't.
damned if I do and damned if I don't. That one?
I don't think. Oh, yeah, that's dude. I swear, Brandon would always
Holla.
play that one, dude.
He would. That's one of my favorites.
Always. I was
Like
sick of that one.
holla.
You know, dude, because I would.
My chest
I
full
feel
of
like.
smoke.
I feel like maybe in middle school these songs would be blasting 24/7. You know.
Yeah.
Right on the radio. Everyone had the CDs. And if you were listening to SPM, you were obviously listening to like Baby Bash.
SP. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, all of them are still popping in my head, dude. But yeah, Baby Bash too. They came up together,
Baby. How do I say? SPM is how do I say? What is he? A rapper, dude? Is he a rapper? What is?
I think he's considered a Mexican rapper. Yeah,
A Mexican
I'm pretty sure. Well, I mean, like he's an American rapper, but like that's what he wants to be recognized as Mexican. That was what his big thing is because it was like SPM, and then you had like Kid Frost and people like that who were like they wanted to rep being Mexican. That's what they did. That was their come up right there. And then Baby Bash, he's the same. He's a Mexican rapper, and he was more famous, I think, than SPM at first, and then they got introduced, which has a big part of the story actually. Now that we're gonna talk about him. Cause,
dude, who was that other guy that was like bald and had like, those low glasses that would sing too?
Are you talking about MC Magic or are you talking about Mr.
MC
Capone?
Magic. Okay,
You're
and who
not
else?
talking about
Who
Mr.
else?
Capone, dude?
Mr. Capone, dude.
Yeah. You should be a model. I bet you hear that all the time. Like, dude, that was my shit.
Or was that the pretty little lady with the pretty brown eyes?
Isn't that MC Magic?
Yeah, the MC Magic one. That's
Tell me. What is that? Oh, because no, I'm also thinking of MB Riders, dude.
Oh, MB Riders. Okay,
That's what I was thinking of.
When I was thinking of Baby Bash, I'm like, who's all those people that were like that, like similar to them, and that's all those people.
It's all of them.
It's like all the people we used to listen to.
All the people we grew up listening to, for real. And maybe, I don't know if everyone did or if it was just like, because let me tell you, when I was telling my friends what we were talking about today, I was like, I can't wait to get home. Me and Jesus are going to record on SPM today. Everyone said, who's SPM? And then I said, what do you mean by that? Well, what do you mean by that? Like, I don't get it.
And everyone started throwing things at you, bro. You're like,
yeah. Yeah. And so then I played them the songs, and then they're like, oh, that's who it is. Oh, that's who. And I'm like, you didn't know? You didn't know?
They've been singing these songs all this time, and they're like, I didn't know it was them, man. I didn't know it was them.
Well, then Baby Bash ended up changing his name, too. Remember when before we were even old enough to listen to him, it was like Baby Beesh or something like that. Did you know that?
No, dude.
Beeesh, yeah, Baby Beesh. And then they grew up
Damn,
with
bro.
Rashid, SPM, all those people. But anyways, so now that we've told you who he is, let's say what he's done, right? So there's a ton of craziness revolving SPM because he is in prison. He was sentenced to 45 years in prison, and this was back in 2002. But there's a lot of people who believe that SPM is like not a bad guy, that he's completely innocent, and that he should not be in jail at all.
That he got railroad is what the term is.
He got set up that's another one that people keep saying he got set up. Other people think like, oh well, okay. So if we hit the court case, there in theory is no evidence that there's no evidence to back the case. There's back then there wasn't text messages, there wasn't good camera footage like we have now. So and it was kids. Here's the problem: is this wasn't like he was just accused of sexually assaulting other adults. It was actually children. So we'll kind of start at the beginning of where the whole trial starts, right? Because there wasn't much information on the trial, like how with these other cases I can pull up a full-blown timeline. This one doesn't necessarily have all that stuff because it was a long time ago. But let's just keep in mind, too, guys, that SPM still has a lot of support because we talked about how like a lot of people think he's innocent. He still
hold up, Miranda. Let me tell you this because we said we grew up hearing them, but like I'll tell you right away, like a lot of people that grew up listening to them, it would be like people from Texas, people from LA, people here, Florida, places where there's more Latinos back then. We'll say that,
Yeah, it wasn't
probably like New York too,
Yeah.
But still, right? Still, that's considering that it's a low demographic of people listening to this guy. He was popping off.
Mm-hmm. And he was up in Houston too, like in South Texas, and
South Park, Texas.
Yeah, for real, South Park neighborhood, dude. So keep in mind that when he went to prison, guys, this was back in 2002. It's now 2024, and he still to this day is getting around 1.6 million streams on Spotify right now per month. Per month, dude.
That means daily people are still jamming this homie.
Mm-hmm. And I won't lie and say I didn't listen to him at work today because I had to show everyone who it was. And then once they heard the music, they're like, "Oh, okay, I know this song. And I'm like, "Okay, I was just making sure you weren't freaking sheltered."
The funny
as a
part,
child.
Miranda, is that like you put a headphone on them and they're like, "Do you know this song?" And then you raise up your fist at them and you're like, "You know this song?" And then
Yeah, do you?
They were flinching a little bit and they're like, "Yeah, I know it. I know it.
I know it. I'm all
like,
singing.
Wiggy, 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 wiggy.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, dude. That's exactly what it was. And the other crazy part, if you guys go and watch any of the YouTube videos that you can find, like all the stuff we're about to talk about, you can look at those videos. You can look at like basically any post online that says like, "Oh, SPM did this." All the comments, okay, I'm not gonna say all. About 90% of the comments, except for mostly on Reddit, like YouTube and stuff, all these videos, they're like, "Free SPM. Wow, like you're gonna talk down on your own people for clout. That's the best stuff. You just want to views on your video. He's innocent." And I'm like, bruh.
Dude, drinking the juice. The juice. Nah, dude.
Yeah.
Like okay, dude. So we're gonna get into this, and as an SPM fan, right? You're like, this guy, maybe he fucked up once, right? He fucked up once, and it's like, okay, yeah, we believe it. And then after this, you're gonna be like, damn, bro. I mean, I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
You're gonna be dead.
I didn't either. Well, growing up, he's been in prison since I was old enough to like listen to his music on my own and stuff. So I was in second grade when he got, sentenced. So he's never been like had a show while I've been alive, so it's nothing like that. So it's weird to me that we were just like so supportive this whole time, and then we find out what he does, and it's like, guys, I was a little kid listening to this guy's music, so that makes it even worse. So we'll kind of start from the beginning, right? He started out as
Yeah, it's
nothing
scary,
but
man. He could have picked you up. No, just
right. No, he did start out as like a crack dealer. So that was like in his early teens. And then that was like before he, made it as a rapper or musician, whatever we're going to call him. So back in the day, this is kind of where things started. We'll start with the beginning of the story where his best friend, Billy, was married to this lady. And his friend Billy, you can listen to their story in one of his songs, The Devil something. I don't know why I can't remember it off the top of my head, of course, the one time that it's actually important. Can you look that up? It's The Devil Will Come or something like that. But anyway, so he talks about it in that song. So you can listen to
The Devil's Mansion, dude. Or Devil Strikes.
The Devil Strikes something, yeah.
When the Devil Strikes, sorry.
When the Devil Strikes. Okay, that's what it is, yeah. So in that song, When the Devil Strikes, he talks about what happened and how, his homie Billy calls him up from this hotel and is like, basically, come chill with me, dog. And he does. And his friend Billy is smoking some crack or something that night, And he was like, yo, like, what the heck are you doing? And then turns out Billy eventually gets addicted to crack just from that one night. So a couple of weeks later, the cops roll up on Billy, put him in jail. Keep in mind, Billy has a lady on the outside, right? SPM grew up with Billy and his lady, and so they've known each other forever. Well, Carlos Coy, also known as SPM, we'll probably call him Carlos part of the time, so I forgot to tell you guys his real name. So Carlos, he and his girlfriend live together, and they have a 6-year-old daughter. They go to dinner one night with Billy's girlfriend. We'll just call her Miss Ramirez at this point because I can't remember her first name. And they had a 9-year-old daughter as well, Billy and his girlfriend. So the little girl who's 6, which is SPM's daughter, she wants to, after dinner, go home, but she wants her 9-year-old bestie to come with her. She's like, I'll come and have a sleepover. Like, let's hang out. Like, it'll be so fun. The mom was like, all right, yeah, she can stay at your guys' house, whatever. So how the story goes is that the 2 little girls were like laying in bed watching TV. SPM was sitting on the end of the bed and like touched the little girl inappropriately, like in her private area. And then she obviously was like, ooh, like this isn't right. Like this isn't supposed to happen, right? So she gets up and goes to the other room with the little girl. They like go to the little girl's room and watch TV in there. Once the 6-year-old, who's SPM's daughter, falls asleep, the SPM himself goes in there and starts like touching her inappropriately again, and then uses, I don't even know how to say this without it being horrible, but not only did he use his hand, he also used his mouth to do inappropriate things to the child. So at this point, the little girl gets like super uncomfortable, obviously, and says like, I want to go home. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. So he himself drives her home and drops her off like late at night at her parents' house or her mom's house, whatever. And then that's kind of where it all started. So
here's something they don't say that you read, Miranda, that they said on the videos.
Yeah.
Is that at this point, when he dropped them off a couple miles from their house. And then they had to go into like a store and ask for a phone. And then one of the girls, sisters came and picked them up.
Really? That is not what I read when I was like reading what his friend said. But there's so many different like recounts of this night. Like who knows which one is real?
For real.
Because what was his name? Shadow something. He said that, and there's a whole page on it, and I'll post it so that you guys can go and read it later. The guy sounds nuts while he's typing. He sounds like really uneducated and just like, okay, why would we believe you? But he said that night when he dropped the little girl off, that he even like went in, had a bowl of menudo with her family, and just like dropped the kid off and said the kid was sick and wasn't feeling well. And they had eaten at Joe's Crab Shack that night, so they were like, oh, like maybe she's just not feeling good from seafood, whatever. And then apparently, according to Baby Bash, right? Because keep in mind, once they became homies back in like 1998, 1999 timeframe, everyone knows some of Baby Bash's music too. Baby Bash and him meet in no other place than Espanola, New Mexico at some car show, dude.
Damn, bro. That's my
Mhm.
shout out your cousin, dude.
Shout out my family or half of it. So they meet there. Baby Bash does this interview, and he says, great, I forgot what I was gonna say. I hate having ADHD, dude. I freaking hate it.
I hate shouting out the family, bro.
Yeah, I shouted out my family and then got distracted because I was like, yeah, my cousin. And then I was like, wait, what was I talking about right after? Yeah, well, I guess I won't tell you that part right now. So sorry, guys. Sorry, I remember now. So Baby Bash said that because at this point, SPM opens Dope House Records, right? And
Yeah.
they signed Baby Bash. That's when he changes his name to Baby Bash. And he's rolling with them.
Bish.
Yeah, and he said that at the time, like that lady had called in to like the record place and said like, "Yo, I'm mad at you because apparently her and SPM be smashing on the side, dude." Yeah, and that's his best friend's girl, and he has a girl already too, so he's cheating on his wife with Miss Ramirez here. She calls in and is like, "Give me 20 grand or I'm gonna like get you in trouble. I'm gonna call the cops on you. I'm gonna do something, you know." Apparently that's what Baby Bash says happened. Is there proof of that? No. So
It's all he say, she say, man.
Mm-hmm. So he said that like after, you know, SPM didn't send her the money, that a couple months later, that's when she called the police and said like, "Oh, this happened," whatever. But the other stories say that she called like immediately after. So it's really hard to know what's true, and that's why this case is so difficult too, because there's a ton of different information on what actually happened and how long went in between and blah blah blah. So anyways, there's no evidence against him doing any of this to the 9-year-old girl, because when her mom took her into social services, they said like, well, we can't do any testing on her because it's been past a week time frame. So like we can't look to see it, you know, if there was any evidence left behind or anything like that. So I don't know.
Imagine that shit happening to your daughter and you're just like, hey, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
Someone's dying. I'm saying that now. Someone's going down.
Yeah. So when they eventually like went to court over this, the little girl was 10 at the time. She had to testify because
she wanted to grow up and to be an astronaut. Yeah, I swear. Nice.
Probably. So when she testified, though, this is coming from a 10-year-old girl, right? It's been a couple months since this has happened. And when she testifies, she said, well, I don't remember exactly what happened, and it might have been a dream. Like, I'm not sure. And then she later says, oh, no, it actually happened. It was real. But she did. That is in the court documents and everything like that. The little girl said it could have been a dream. Like, I'm not sure. And then I'm sure they talked to her, and then they were like, don't be saying that. So I don't know. When the little girl stayed there, remember I told you they had been watching movies in bed and whatnot? So here are the movies. They used this in their court case, in their when they were testifying. The movies that they watched were Scream, Scream 2, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's what a 6 and 9-year-old were watching. So
Same,
then they
dude.
tried to,
I was little age watching those movies too.
I probably was too, so I don't know.
Bro,
But,
that's why we're all desensitized to horror, bro. Someone just gets slaughtered in front of us, we're just like, and then? Like, what's new?
they're like, wait, what's the next part? And they're like, that was the horrible part. I'm like, oh, I didn't know.
Here's my reaction. Oh my god. No, just, yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So they tried to use this in court though. What's his face? SPM and his lawyers, they tried to say that, well, they were watching scary movies, so it could have caused them to have bad dreams. So the dream theory is probably right.
Man, dude, everything. I swear, everything to try to get SPM out of this situation.
Mm-hmm. Because they tried to say, well, it's like easy to think that way, or for kids to have dreams that way, especially when they're like exposed to such a violent graphic and like sexual material right before bed, because you know they watched all that scary and sexual stuff on TV just now, and like murder and slashing and whatnot, and then so that's what happened. That's what they tried to say.
All right, Miranda.
I don't know.
You know, if we were in a situation like I Know What You Did Last Summer. Sorry, I know this is completely off topic. If it was me, you, Miles, and Brayden, and we ran someone over, and then we just threw his body into the water, right?
Yeah.
Who do you think would be the first one to crack?
Miles.
Miles?
Well, I think probably actually Brayden would be the first one to crack on his own. Miles would not necessarily crack, but it would be obvious that he was lying because he would like turn all red and they'd be like, "Tell us what happened." He'd be like, "Well, guys, I just, and I'm like, "Speak, dude!" Like that's
He's like, guys.
Yeah. That's what happened. I'm not kidding. That's what happened.
It was more random. Not just...
That's what he would probably do, dude. He would just rat out whoever did it right away. So let me open this other page since we're like off topic anyways. Here we go. So in the trial, I have the page pulled up from court right now.
For sure.
They had, CPS people go in there. They had a ton of detectives on it, but they didn't ever find like concrete evidence that any of this happened or really any evidence at all. The only thing this trial had going for them was that once this little girl was in court, other people came forward.
Oh my God. Who would have known? Who would have known?
Thought, right? How many people total, Jesus? How many people? 8.
My God. See, bro, this is what I was saying earlier. Maybe one, right? Maybe one, we can justify it. Maybe. But 8?
Yeah, 8. And they were all, and here's the thing that it was 8 young girls, the youngest one being 9, which is the girl that we're talking about. And all of them said that he had sexual contact with them while they were underage. So
I'll tell you an age. They were all under 14.
Yeah, 14. So 2 of them had been like 14-year-old girls in a hotel, and he had apparently had sex with them in a hotel room. The biggest one, and the only reason he is in prison right now, because like I said, they didn't have any proof to put him in prison for this. It was just what a 9-year-old kid said, basically. The only proof that they had that, okay, well, maybe he does like kids, or he obviously does, is because of his first baby mama, dude.
Oh, let's go. Got caught slipping, homie.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking.
So his first baby mama has his son, and she got pregnant, right? Guess how old she was, dude?
Well, since I said everyone was under 14, I'm assuming she was under 14. She was
13 years old when she got pregnant.
Oh my God, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was 22.
SPM was at the middle schools being like, all right. These middle school girls, they keep getting younger, keep getting older.
Well, so she discussed it. She actually, the only reason that she even got found out about is because once SPM got famous and got money, she was like, I'm going after him for some freaking child support because, yeah, I've been raising him.
She honestly moral story, always wrap the willy. No, just kidding.
Always. So she, someone saw like the court case and like, oh, well, he's being sued for child support and this. And then they were like, wait, he has however old his son was at the time. He has an older kid because he was 31. That's right. He was 31 at the time of this trial. So he had a kid when he was 22 with this girl. But this girl age just wasn't adding up because they're like, well, isn't this kid 9? And like, so the mom is 9 too. Like, like it didn't make sense. So they're like, what the hell? And that's how it got found out. So the only reason he got convicted of the crime with this 9-year-old girl is because of that only.
It's because there was greed in that woman's eyes, Miranda. That's why. No, just kidding.
Well, and so when she testifies in court,
she didn't want to see my man SPM fly.
Mm-mm. And you know what she said too when they interviewed her? Because she had to take the stand. And they were like, okay, so you were only 13 when this happened. Like, what the heck? Like, what happened? So and this is a quote. She said, my family didn't want me to have anything to do with him, obviously. It was her first sexual experience, and neither of them discussed or used birth control. And at first it started with him, like he said, it was just a one-night stand with a stripper. So apparently he met her because they all went to a strip club, and she was like using a fake ID to earn some money, and she was stripping in there, so he just assumed she was 18. Okay, well, especially back in 2000, or this was actually in 1993 when she got pregnant, so especially back then, you'd be able to tell the difference between an 18-year-old and a 13-year-old.
Of course,
Right?
dude. Of course, yeah. I feel like maybe nowadays it's a little harder, right? Makeup and TikTok, all that shenanigans make it seem like these
kids are like older than they are.
Yeah, for sure. That's how I have a nephew that's he's not young. He's like 18, I think, 19.
Yeah.
And he has a kid already. But when I met him, dude, he was 16, right? Dude, I swear he could have been. I swear I thought he was 18, 19.
Yeah.
Like the way he carried himself, I'm like, bro, you're too young to be acting this old. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and like way back in 93, can you imagine like what a 13-year-old looked like? Because I know back when I was 13, we didn't have like, I don't know, like even when I was younger than that, we looked like so young. I don't know.
It's like you embraces and Michelle and cornrows, dude.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like, dude. And so that's what she said. So she said, well, like he obviously had to know, right? Because they said, well, they asked Baby Bash even, okay, so you're going to tell us that you can't tell the difference between an 18-year-old and a 13-year-old. And he said, well, I can, but like I don't know what was going on with him back then, so I don't know if he can. Like that's what he said.
See, bro, that interview that you saw that with Baby Bash came out, that one pisses me off because he makes it seem like it's the girl's fault that she got pregnant. Yeah.
Well, and hear this, dude. So the prosecutor asked the lady, the baby mama.
Yeah.
At the time. She said, okay, well, did SPM know your age at the time? And she said that she wasn't sure, but that he would pick her up from her middle school where she attended 7th grade at the time. He would pick her up there and take her places.
God, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm getting like the severe flashbacks, dude. I remember when I was in middle school and I wasn't like, I feel like maybe I wasn't cognizant. I knew what was going on, but I wasn't cognizant of what was actually going on until like maybe in 8th grade, right? That's when things started clicking. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I remember these girls would talk about like, oh, I'm talking to this guy that's 18. I'm talking to this guy that's 25. I'm talking to this guy that's a firefighter.
Yeah, and it's like, what the heck?
And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, how are you talking to these people, right? And then they're like, Facebook, like, all this is Messenger, all this stuff. MySpace. Oh, MySpace, yeah. And damn, bro, how do I say it? I didn't know it was so normalized back then.
Yeah. Well, and that's when I'm doing my research, right? People are defending him because we already talked a little about how he has so many people like being like, oh, free SBM, There was people on there being like, dude, for Mexicans, it's normal to like be with someone younger than you, but usually they get married and they have a ton of kids and they do that. Like, okay, it's not normal for 22 and up people to be impregnating like 12, 13-year-old kids.
Yeah, dude, it's normal. Let's just say if the homie is, let's just say if the homie's 33 and he's dating a 22-year-old chick, that's okay, right? That's okay. But if you put it, let's just say the other way around, like she's a homie that's 18 dating an 8-year-old, that don't work out.
Okay.
That's not okay.
Yeah. And that's what they're like trying to make it seem. And then they're like, oh, well, there's no proof, there's no this, there's no that. And it's like, so you're gonna tell me all 8 of these kids lied and had stories around like about the same thing. And then he tried to be like, well, they just know I have money and I'm just like, coming up and they just want that check is basically what he said. And they saw an opportunity. So I don't know. I think they're wild, bro.
They be lying.
Mm-hmm. So then we move on to SPM's wife, right?
Ooh, let's go.
Because he actually got married while he was in prison, not before, to this lady. Her name's Carolyn.
Miranda's like, wish I could be you. No,
yeah, wish I could be you. No, I don't like him. But he married this girl named Carolyn Rodriguez. She had actually met him before he went in because she did music. She like sang, she did something, I don't know. And so she like actually had done a whole album with him. So when he was in, she started like writing him letters and and stuff and using the phone. And when they started talking on the phone and like just over the months and years, whatever, they became all like close and fell in
He was
love.
like, damn, Ma, I like the way you be speaking to me.
Yeah, exactly. And so they got a little too close, and then they ended up getting married in prison, supposedly. So what people don't know, dude, is she's done a lot of interviews and stuff, by the way, and they asked her, like, okay, so after he was already convicted of sexually assaulting a child, you still wanted to go out with him and still wanted to marry him and do all this. And she was like, look, basically, there wasn't any evidence in the trials, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, but what about the 13-year-old girl that he had a baby with? Because the kid, who's pretty cranky, by the way, you can go and look at some of his YouTube videos. He is like hardcore mad and stands up for his dad to the fullest like extent. He believes his dad did
SPM
nothing
Junior
wrong.
over here, bro.
Mm-hmm. He said that like other people have babies with underage kids all the time, and it's only a big deal because my dad's famous. No, it's a big deal because that's illegal and it's really disgusting, but it's whatever. I don't want him to hear this because he's a little crazy, but so she read like the court transcripts and all that stuff, and she still doesn't think he's done anything wrong. Now they've broken up, and she's feeling shady, Jesus. She's feeling mad.
Damn.
And now she's coming back. Yeah, she's coming back with a vengeance right now. But she still has said, like, that she didn't know. But now, dude, he's engaged. SPM to another lady.
Oh, my God. Another crazy fan.
It's even worse, dog. He's engaged to his daughter's friend. Not the one that he was accused of doing stuff with in the beginning of the trial, but another one. And his daughter is like, what, 27, 28? Because I think she was like a 96 baby or something. So that's how old this girl must be too, around that age. And he is 53. Does he not remember why he's in prison or?
Yeah, he doesn't, dude. He's like, he looks at his daughter and he's like, I want to date your friend.
Yeah, that's disgusting. So she came on a podcast with Mr. Capone, dude, because he has his own podcast, which I didn't know about until I started doing this.
I didn't know that, dude. You telling me I have another podcast I can listen to now? Like,
yeah. And she was talking about that.
He's like, what's up, guys? What's up, peces?
That's literally how
How
it
are
is.
my vatos going to do? No,
That's literally how it is. I was watching it and I was like, oh my God. Like the whole time I was watching it, I was like, how is this real? But he bought this girl, and you can go look her up on Instagram or right now if you want to. It's her first name is spelled Odalis, and her handle is like, I don't know how to say that. Is it Mexican or is it just Odalis or Odalis or something? I don't know. But in Wonderland. So it's just her first name and then in Wonderland. It's all one word. That's her little handle on Insta. So you can look her up. She now has like some control somehow in Dope House Records because they still have it, right? And she's like editing stuff, and she's like a manager there, and he just bought her a $30,000 engagement ring, dude. And it's posted all over there, and she barely has any followers too. She's not even famous. Crazy, huh? I think she has like 6K followers. So
that's wild.
I'm not.
Dude.
Not
I see what you're
lack
talking
of followers,
about,
but
bro.
yeah. So I don't know, dude. I think that's a little wild. But speaking of Carolyn, still a little bit, there was a tape that was released like a couple years ago, and it was a phone call that they had because she, trying to make extra money, started selling some like SPM edibles, dude. And she was selling them at like, I don't know exactly where. I need to do a little bit more research on where it was. But she was selling them to like just anyone who came up and was like, I want some edibles. And she didn't card anyone or anything. And so like she was selling it to kids, bro. So she sold drugs to kids.
Bro, where was this lady when I was growing up, dude? I needed these edibles growing up.
Right, where was she?
I needed the fear of God, bro. I needed to sit down in the chair and just experience the high of, am I gonna die today?
Well, dude, can you imagine being like,
Nice.
Can you imagine being 15 and some lady's like, I'm SPM's wife and I got some edibles, the SPM edibles, like, and she didn't care if we bought them, like,
bro,
those kids lucked out, I will say.
Bro, that was like some dude. The first time I had an edible trip, dude, it was in high school,
Mhm.
and I didn't know, dude. It was baby girl's birthday, and then she just was giving brownies to everyone, and she's like, "Oh, you can have one." And I was like,
And you're like,
"Okay."
all right.
And I remember I ate it, right. I ate it like in the last period, and then I went to Walmart, dude. And then I was like, "Where do my eyes feel so tired?" Like,
Hmm.
you
You're
know,
like,
my eyes
something's
are
wrong with
barely
me.
open, dude. When I how you know my eyes are barely open. So I was like, I think I'll move back to the car. That's what I told my mom, and she's like, "Yeah, okay, like fine." And I remember just like being in and out for a good minute, dude. It wasn't fun.
Dude, the first time when I did an edible, it was like, I think it was with my friend, and she gave me some at a restaurant, and she was like, just take like a little nibble. And I was like, I'm scared. And she's like, yeah, it'll be fine. Dude, I almost died, dude. I was on another planet. Like, I swear I was on another planet for a while, bro.
Dude, it's like
I ain't gonna
you know
lie.
you smoke some marijuana, you know you're fine, right? You feeling good, right? You either chill or you're just like lax, or you're vibing.
Yeah.
But then it's like the edibles hit, and it's like, hey, what's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you? It's like I don't know. Well, it's gonna happen right now, and you're like, no, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna happen immediately. That's how it feels, dude. Well, so I'm gonna show you the recording though from the edibles conversation. Um, but it was like a long video, and they talk like this quiet, guys. Like, oh my god, like it's like so quiet. I was like getting annoyed listening to it. But basically,
I feel like if they don't have a setup like a microphone setup, I'm like,
well,
you need to make better videos, bro. You need to invest.
it was like a video or a phone call from the jail too, or from the prison.
Oh,
So like it
damn.
was recorded from there, so it wasn't that good, dude.
Damn, I would have been
but-
like, hey, moan my name. No, you just get.
moan my name, dude. That's probably what they did all the time. But so he goes, I don't respect you for selling like drugs, blah blah blah. He said, I don't want no pothead wife, like all this crazy stuff. And then like it's a little ironic that he has a thing called Dope House Records, right? But it's like whatever.
But he's also he's allowed to sell crack, so it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. He's allowed to sell crack and do whatever, but he doesn't want a pothead wife. Okay. I mean, and then all the comments, dude, defending him on this video, they're like, well, dude, he's getting out on parole and he has to watch who he hangs out with. Like, you have to know. And I'm like, you think he ain't gonna come straight out and start drugging and thugging, dude? You're
Exactly,
wrong.
bro. It's like all those movies, bro. They go pick up that one homie that was in jail, and right away they give him a phone,
For
the
Loco.
blicky.
Yeah.
It's like some crack or some marijuana, and then they're like, "Let's go, man. You already know."
Yeah. That's literally how it is. So, I don't know. But
You
that
don't think
happens.
it's gonna be any difference for SPM? He's gonna come out swinging.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he obviously, like, you know, in the Baby Bash video, I don't know if you watched it, but he literally says when they met in Espanola, New Mexico, they were smoking weed together. Baby Bash was like, I always had the best weed, dude. And that's where it starts. And I'm like, okay, so now you're gonna I can't see if
So he
he's
probably
trying to
had
get
some
out on
mints,
parole,
bro.
but something happened, dude. I don't know. But
Dude, Baby Bash knew the whole time. He was just trying to, how do I say, cover his own tracks.
oh yeah, because then he's gonna get like an accessory type of thing, you know.
For
Well-
show. Or was he doing it too?
It's possible. Someone said in the comments of one of the things I was reading and said they don't call him Baby Bash for no reason. I said, aye.
Yeah, bro, because it's Baby Bish. No, I'm just kidding.
Because it's Baby Beach, dude. Duh. So back to the court thing for 1 second. The lady, the mom, who was like testifying in court or whatever for her daughter, she said that they said like why don't you like him? And she said that he used to beat up on his wife and he beats his current girlfriend. He's rude, he does drugs, and he just cheats on his wife all the time.
Mm.
And so then they bring his friend in. His name was John Hernandez. They bring him in to testify, right? And SPM wants him to testify and say, well, because he's trying to say that, you know, Miss Ramirez, Billy Stout's wife, his best friend who's in prison, and him had an affair and they slept together. He's using that in his trial to be like, oh, she's just mad because I ain't giving no more D and she's taking it out on me and she's lying. That's what he tried to say. So he's like, and she said that never happened. So he calls his friend John Hernandez to testify. Which dude ends up being a mistake because they pull him up on the stand. When they like investigate and they start interrogating him, they didn't think he was gonna, but this Hernandez guy is like, well, I've been to rehab for alcohol, blah, blah, blah. And also I'm here because SPM made me sign a contract. He said he'd give me $100K if I came and did this. So, you know how illegal that is? You can't pay someone to testify, dude.
He literally threw SPM under the bus.
Yeah. And then he said he had no reason to believe that Ms. Ramirez wasn't telling the truth about the sexual abuse against her daughter. So.
And so he just took the money and tricked them.
I guess, yeah. Well, I don't know if he ever got the money because once he testified, he might have lost all that, but I don't know.
Damn, 100K down the drain, bro.
Yeah, 100K down the drain because you did that, but I don't know. They also tried to use against him and say that he was like on drugs and whatnot, and like that Dope House Records, you know, why would they call it dope if it wasn't about drugs? And then his like counsel obviously were like, well, the word dope has several different positive meanings in the rap and hip hop culture. Like it means cool, dude. It's dope as heck. Like they pulled that, dude.
Oh my god, dude. They're like, you know, we don't sell drugs here. We procreate them and we're entrepreneurs and we shit them out.
That's basically how they acted. Yeah, we don't sell them. We shit them. So yeah, they did all that. Oh, and then okay, so here's where this lady's testimony starts to get a little wild. She was like really pushing for a conviction here, right, for her daughter. So she started like taking other things. She says, well, she started asking for like money, right? She wanted a settlement, which I actually don't know if she ever got a settlement, so that might be interesting to look at. But she said that, she's had to go to therapy for what happened to her daughter and that now she has to be in therapy for her father's death because after she told her father about what happened to his granddaughter about the sexual abuse, he just had a heart attack the next day from stress and died.
Man.
Mm-hmm. So she used that and then they tried to get like her records and all that stuff. So I don't know.
SPM's a piece of shit, dude. That's all I'm hearing.
He is. And all these people are defending him, and I just don't understand why. Because if this was your child, there would not be, you wouldn't be being like, oh, but his music, though, he's innocent.
For real, dude, what did SPM give these people? Does he have dirt on them, or or are they just
thousands of people?
Or are they just how do I say, drinking the juice?
I think that's all it is, dude. The juice.
Man, don't look up to famous people, guys.
Yeah, you can't. Because just like in all the other episodes, dude, we're the reason that this guy keeps making money. And I was Googling like what his net worth is right now. As of 2024, they said it will probably, because he's probably getting out this year on parole, you guys, he's eligible for parole on October 7th, 2024. That is projected. Yeah, so that's soon. His projected net worth is probably going to reach about 10 million now this year. But it's unlikely like that. He can't like really get checks, from his record label or anything in jail, but like people can send him money. So I'm sure his kids are sending him money and stuff. But he still like makes money off the streams, off his music, obviously, his merchandise sales, all that stuff. It generates revenue and people like us, are the ones buying it and giving him those streams. There are petitions that you guys can sign because people are trying. There's about like 10% of people that even know who he is are trying to keep him in prison. It's not just because his parole date is coming up does not mean that he's going to get it. He's just eligible for parole at that time. But he has to get like reviewed by the parole board and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could deny him parole after reviewing if they wanted to.
Yeah, they can still deny him. But I don't know. He still makes music in there. Like, if you think he's went to jail in 2002, there's still albums released after that. Every time he releases music or an album, they keep him in solitary confinement for 45 days after he releases. And he knows that, and he still puts them out. So.
I wonder why, dude.
Weird, right? All of it.
He's like, I did all that stuff you guys are accusing me of. Nice.
He probably did. I mean, it doesn't matter The evidence to me is if you can get a 13-year-old pregnant and then a ton of other 13-year-olds and younger come up and being like, yeah, he did that to me. Like, you're just really just not going to believe him.
Why is this homie in there and not getting the death penalty? Huh? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. And I want to know, I wish there were some interviews that I could find of the Billy Stout, the dad, his old best friend. What does he think? We just never heard anything from him anymore. Disappeared. He's out of prison, and I know he was at least at some point. I could not find his like arrest stuff. I don't know. I couldn't find anything on him. I couldn't find a video of him talking about it. Nothing.
Damn, he's erased, bro. SPM deleted him from life.
Probably. But yeah. So what do you think, Jesus?
You know, dude, honestly, like I said in the beginning, you know, depending on what it is, you know, we all make mistakes. We're all humans, you know. Nobody's perfect. We can fuck up once. We could learn from our mistakes, you know. Admitting. If he would have, like, you know, came out and it would the first time and would have admitted it, you know, people would have accepted it, right?
Yeah.
It would have been like, well, he admitted he's a piece of shit, bro. Like, well, that's, you know, that's something we take. But the thing is, he did it 8 more times, you know, or 7 more times after that one time.
Yeah. Well, then he never admitted to any of those.
And then he never admitted to them. See what a bitch. Nice.
He never even admitted to the 9-year-old girl thing. The only thing he ever admitted to, because he had to, was getting the 13-year-old girl pregnant. And then he said, oh, it was the one I stand. I didn't know she was pregnant. But she's all, he used to pick me up at my middle school all the time. And she didn't have like mean stuff to say about him. She said that anytime she reached out, he was always there, like financially and stuff for his son. And that like he was the kid's dad. And it wasn't some like ginormous secret. It just came out because she was trying to get child support and whatnot. So I don't know. Isn't that crazy that she was just like, it is what it is? And his kids are just like, dude, it's not a big deal.
Brainwashing is too real, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's guilty. Very guilty. What do you think so too?
For sure. Yeah, for sure he's guilty.
Well, tell us what you guys think. And then just know we've got a couple months left until his review. So it's not too late to sign the petition if you want to, or pick which side you join in.
Damn, just know if you don't sign that petition, I know you like diddling children, guys.
Yeehaw, brother.